And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again, the second time, to recover the remnant of his people.
It's you who don't know. It's you Afro-Syrians who don't know your history.
And going to the other side of India, you see the Dalits as well as the Siddhis. Same thing on the Eastern Hemisphere. Mass incarceration, police brutality, lynchings, convict leasings.
You brothers and sisters in South Sudan, your heritage goes far deeper than where you live. You are the children of God.
Ein Herz, das arge Ränke. Was sind
その頭と神の傾向は
Vamos poder suportar.
Les Français.
Laat je niet misleiden tot filosofie van.
That's right. That's it.
Communications since the early days of the spring.
So the president, yes or no, is personally calling.
Yeah. I'm happy to share that as well. Yes. Just
okay, I'm sorry. Pause.
So
this was, I watch these every time they come out because to have a job, your whole job is to just make up bull sh. Yep. Like that's your whole job. Is to lie on behalf of the president
and deflect.
Yeah. And deflect.
Anybody can do that. Huh?
I mean, it take a special somebody. For you to take a job to speak on behalf of the American government and your whole president and your whole job is to you just lie. That's it.
The hell is this? You know something? 90%, 95% of Christian pastors do that job with ease.
That's true.
They
get some good checks for it too.
Man.
That's right. Y'all know she like girls.
That's my fault.
I know she like girls, right?
That's my fault.
Yeah,
it's the infrastructure bill. That's what I'm talking about.
What gives you that impression?
Because she said she
go to 36. Y'all at 3553.
Y'all said she
LGBTQ.
She the first she gay. She only got this job because she's black and gay.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Why she dressing like that? Then she with a hoodie or something.
That's a waste of that. That's a waste.
Minimized by. Can we touch
for
your
women
hair?
Who may need access to abortion for their health. That's what his. I'm going to move around. We actually have 10 minutes or less, so I'm going to move around. Go ahead, and then I'll come back.
What exactly would the Inflation Reduction Act do to reduce inflation in the short term?
All right, pause. So I just wanted. So she said, "What is that bill just got passed today? So what is the Inflation Reduction Act going to do for Americans in the short term? Because 95% of the bill is out in 2024, 2025, and beyond. So the report is asking, well, what about now? What about now? All right, go ahead. So now I want y'all to see Kareen's response. Go ahead.
When you look at the lowering costs in particular for Americans, I think that's important when you think about how inflation has increased costs for Americans. If you think about the $100 saving about $100 per year on premiums with ACA.
Stop!
What's she talking about?
$100 a year.
Right.
That's like 9 cents a month, $9 a month.
Right. Thanks.
The hell?
Thanks.
We appreciate you. That $100 is gonna take us far.
That's a good bill. We appreciate it. Bro. Joe, hey, black people in the hood like, man, Trump did better than this, man. He gave me 4,000.
Right.
She
Obama
said,
gave him a flip phone.
Yeah. She said,
the hell is this?
You think, because first of all, she didn't say nothing.
She didn't say
in the
nothing.
first couple of sentences, she said nothing.
$100 bill.
Yeah, then she goes and says, you save about $100 a year. She's talking about health care. $100 a year in premiums, which equates to about $9 and something a month.
She used a lot of big words and
to say nothing. Yes,
You know,
to say nothing.
Christian
Oh,
pastors.
it gets worse. Play it.
Saving about $100 per year on premiums with ACA. When you think about lowering costs for our seniors, capping that at $2,000 a year instead of thousands and thousands of dollars a month, that lowering of cost as we deal with a time that is difficult for many Americans. Look, experts, economists has said themselves that this would be the Inflation Reduction Act would be beneficial to that extra $300 billion in deficit. That is really important, as we have right now 1.7 billion in deficit deduction under this administration. It would help lower that even more, which is incredibly important. And so, look, we've heard from Republicans and Democrats.
So in other words, we ain't helping y'all regular people.
U.S. Treasury.
This bill does nothing for you immediately.
So we're gonna help you in the direction you're going.
It went from to reduce the inflation to reducing the deficit. Come on now, dog.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, she shot.
We're not gonna give you actual money,
right?
But we're gonna take care of you on the back end. We're gonna pay our bills.
Hey,
it's gonna help you in the
Fox
long
News
run.
gonna rip her a new one.
Yep.
When Fox News, yeah, she gave Fox News something to talk about tonight.
They already did. I just didn't post it.
Yeah, okay.
For time's sake, but
wow.
Yeah, it was funny. All right, play on.
That it would lower inflation. We've heard from more than 126 economists said it would lower inflation. And so I think that is also an important fact that we point to when we talk about the importance of the Inflation Reduction Act, the importance of lowering costs for American families, even as you look at the energy costs as well.
But some of the savings that you're pointing to wouldn't kick in until 2024 or 2026. So is it fair to suggest to people that somehow they're going to see some inflation reduction right now while they're hurting the most?
Well, that is actually not true.
Go back. A couple seconds.
My bad. She gave that look though.
2026. So is it fair to suggest to people that somehow they're going to see some inflation reduction right now while they're hurting the most?
Well, that is actually not true. So this is just for some folks who are watching. Consumers, families, and small businesses owners can head to cleanenergy.gov as it relates to the energy cost component, the lowering of cost, to learn more about how they can start saving money immediately thanks to the Inflation Reduction Act, tax credits and rebates. That is real. Inflation Reduction Act credits and rebates available today include a 30% credit to cover the cost of installing rooftop solar, up to 10% credit to cover the cost of insulation materials and other energy efficient improvements like energy savings, windows and doors, a $300 tax credit for purchasing efficient heating and cooling equipment like a heat pump or central air conditioner, a tax credit of up to $7,500 for purchasing a new electric vehicle. All of these things could happen and are available to folks. Those rebates are available.
You can get a script.
Lamentation 4:17. So if you notice what she said, everything that she listed off, you have to purchase something in order to get the credit or the deductible. Like, so even behind the scenes, Esau say, yeah, I'm gonna help you out, but you gotta help me out first. And that's how they are with everything. They not just giving, like we were talking about with the housing. They're not just gonna give you no free house and fit the bill. They want that money back. Let's read that.
Lamentation chapter 4 and verse 17. As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
So it's already written, this nation, Esau, is not going to save us. And what hurts it even, what helps people to watch for a nation that can't save us, we got our own people that they the mask of Esau. They the mask of they presidential choice, whatever the case is. And they're sitting there as the mouthpiece saying, okay, this is what's going to help you. This is what's going to help him. And our people watching the news like, oh, yeah, that's Sister Jean Piger, and that's brother this, and that's brother that. We know that we grow with them. So if they put their word behind it, surely it's the truth. Not knowing it, no, Esau setting you up for another trap. You're not going to get no help at the end of the day.
Same way they put that black lady in front of that vaccination, right? To influence us to take it.
Exactly.
So this sister was talking about how you got to spend money to save money. I was looking at some on Google, right? For the average cost to install solar panels in Texas per square foot. So for 1,000 square feet, between $4,000 to $25,000.
Bring it out.
The hell is this?
Black people got that land
Come on,
everywhere.
that's just 1,000 square feet.
I'm gonna need that tax credit. So I mean, you know,
Same thing with the car. You gonna
electric
80,
car,
90, $100,000 for a car to get $7,500 back.
Right.
Crazy. Go to. All right, now. Oh, now play this next video. Play that next one.
She said, "Let's move around. Let's."
So I want y'all to see the effects of what's going to be exacerbated with this industrial infrastructure. What is it? Damn. What was it?
The
recession.
The recession. The recession bill.
Y'all forgot that damn fast. What's wrong
Inflation.
with y'all?
Inflation bill.
Inflation Reduction Act.
Inflation
Thank you.
Reduction.
Play it.
You gonna blame it on me? You don't care about it.
This
You tried.
is a line of desperation. Drivers parked along a busy Dallas road. They're waiting for food.
This looks like what we saw a couple of years ago. Unfortunately, it's worse than a couple of years ago. We are serving now at higher levels than we even did at the peak of the pandemic.
Trisha Cunningham of the North Texas Food Bank says every giveaway is just as busy. And we're good. As people say, they can't afford groceries.
And it's just the basics. It's flour, sugar, eggs, milk. We don't buy eggs. We don't even have that luxury anymore.
As inflation has grown, so has need. 1 in 6 Americans relied on food banks last year. That's 53 million people, compared to 40 million pre-pandemic.
Cars were lined up for more than 2 hours before this giveaway even started. Today, there is food for 400 families, but demand will likely exceed that.
But demand will likely exceed that. So that's in Dallas, and that was a couple of days ago. I think that was maybe 3 days ago, 4 days ago, or something like that, where CBS Morning did this. That was in Dallas. That's the North Texas Food Bank, where they're seeing more and more need for food because of inflation, recession. No, y'all not paying. Thank you. Recession, inflation, and as we're getting ready to see something else dealing with your climate change. Play that.
Show you a photo. What do you think this looks like? This is not Mars. It is the United States of America, a drought-hit United States of America. This is Lake Mead, America's largest reservoir. Its water levels have fallen to 28%. It is 175 feet lower than it used to be in the year 2000. What do you think is happening here? The U.S. is battling extreme heat and low rainfall, and the result looks like this. Almost all of the American states are experiencing drought conditions. In some, it's severe, in some, exceptional, like in the case of Texas. Here, farmers have had to sell their cows for slaughter well ahead of schedule. Why? Because they could not afford to keep the cattle. Water sources have dried up, and there is no grass to feed the cows. Farmers in Lone Star have downed their herd size by 50%. 43% in Mexico, 41% in Oregon. 37% of American farmers have killed their existing crops. They're convinced that crops won't mature under such dry conditions.
All right.
How dry are we
y'all
talking
see
about?
Drought. Go to the next one that I just said. The next one. Play that.
As the Dutch government, a guy called Rutte, the Prime Minister, completely owned by the World Economic Forum and Klaus Schwab, why has he just announced that the Netherlands, the second biggest exporter of food in the world, is targeting farmers to destroy them and get them off the land? At a time of food shortages and supply chain problems, you are targeting the second biggest exporter of food in the bloody world to destroy its farming base? Why are you doing that? If people depend on you for what's left of the food, you control them. Where food is abundant and cheap, you do not control. Where energy is cheap and abundant, you do not control. Scarcity equals dependency equals control. And that's why they're targeting the food chain, they're targeting the energy supply, they're targeting everything.
So now, y'all see some of the reasons why y'all seeing what y'all seeing. Y'all see this war in Ukraine, between Ukraine and Russia, which is hurting your energy sector, your oil, price of gas going up. They call it the Putin tax. Keep in mind it was high before that, but nonetheless. That's why they're pushing for your renewable energy, your the solar and wind. But keep in mind with these batteries, with these solar batteries that they get from Africa, where
cobalt.
Yes, your cobalt's another one.
Congo.
Bauxite.
It's in the Congo. It's in the Congo.
What's it,
It's bauxite and it's something else. But it's what they make the batteries out of for your
Iridium.
solar generators, for your solar vehicles and stuff like that. Your electric vehicles, all the EVs, electric vehicles.
That's iridium, right? Iridium.
Yes,
Yeah.
I believe so. Yes. So what are we doing? We're blowing the trumpet. We're giving warning. Chapter 16, start verse 17.
Second Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 17. Woe is me, woe is me. Who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows.
Those days are those dark days, those days of tribulation. Go ahead.
The beginning of sorrows and great mournings. The beginning of famine and great death.
This is, Ezra is seeing what Christ prophesied in Matthew 24. Go ahead.
The beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. The
nations will stand in fear.
The beginning of evils.
The beginning of evils. Go ahead.
What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges from amendment.
For amendment, for judgment. Go ahead.
But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges.
So guess what? Even in the midst of famine, food shortages, Israel is we're gonna be out teaching. Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Israel's still gonna be rebellious.
That's right.
They still not gonna repent.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon the earth.
Victuals is food, shall be cheap. Your McDonald's, you still got your Walmarts, is still up and running. You still got cheap food at Costco. Even though you're seeing certain prices increase, y'all ain't felt it yet.
Right.
Y'all have not felt it yet. Go ahead.
That they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon the earth.
So in the midst of you thinking that you're in good case because food is cheap right now, in the background, you got railroad, you got a railroad strike pending.
Exactly. Right.
No railroads. That means you don't have things going in and out between states.
Right.
That means you're going to have certain areas that might be good one day and don't be good the next.
Cap.
Because you can't get it from one side of the country to the next.
The hell is this? Jake, we terrible when we got stuff in plenty. It's like it's real cheap, so on and so forth. Whenever it gets real bad, where they can't go to McDonald's, Walmart, so on and so forth, Esau already setting up on the back end, like the law, where they saying they can shoot you down, kill you, and just no bail, whatever the case is. They ready for Jake to start acting wild because they ain't got nothing to do.
Right.
Exactly. Read on.
And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword,
war,
famine,
food shortages,
and great confusion.
Homosexuality. You got these transgenders in elementary schools dancing for 5-year-olds.
Right.
Freaking stripping for 5-year-olds.
Damn.
Transgender kids confused as hell. Great confusion. Go ahead.
For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine.
Shall perish or die of famine. Go ahead.
And the other that escape the hunger.
Those that make it through the famine, because not all of us are going to die. Not everybody's going to die in the famine. But for those that don't, it says what?
Shall the sword destroy.
They're going to die in war. Because war is coming to America. Believe it or not, I know y'all think America's the strongest nation, strongest military. And yes, they got a strong military. But it is prophesied that their end is going to come through them.
That's right.
It's prophesied that Babylon will not stand. Babylon will be destroyed to the root, from the rooter to the tutor. That's right. Good. That's why you're seeing what you're seeing right now. Destroying food crops, destroying food plants, food facilities.
Yep.
Buying up all its Gates, buying up all its farmland, They're giving millions of dollars to vaccinate animals.
Right.
They buying up farmland in the Netherlands, largest food producer in the world. Your grain production, Ukraine, Russia, all these droughts, climate change.
Right.
Because prophecy has to come to pass. Revelation 6 and 8 has to come to pass. America is in the midst of all of this. Trust me. You see it right now. Edom is in the midst of all of it. Go ahead.
And with death, and with the beasts of the earth.
That's your viruses, your vaccines, your pestilences, your plagues, your vaccination, your boosters, your booster shots. Vaccinating your animals, boosting your animals. Your animals going to have 15 vaccinations.
Listen up! Listen up! It is your history, guys. It's your history, all you Grenadians. We're going to read, how did we end up here in St. George? How did we end up here in Grenada?
Christ only died for the nation of Israel. Even his name means he saves.
Right.
Who shall he save? Matthew chapter 1, verse 21. You're shaking your head. No. But Peter just told you out of the Bible that Christ came to give repentance to Israel.
He died for all. God said, I will not spare you. Don't think that you're going to get out of the destruction to come in your sin.
Love you guys so much. God be blessed in Jesus' name. And here I saw you was in a car. And anytime I see you again, I'm going to come and I will support your slavery. Can't escape. Love you guys. Love you.